Welcome to the latest episode of Millennial Money. Now today I want to talk about pensions versus ISA. So if you're thinking of starting to invest, then you're going to probably wonder whether to do it via a pension or an ISA. Now almost by default, if you're investing for the sort of medium term, so you've got a goal that's in the next sort of 5 to 10 years, it will more than likely mean an ISA will be best for you. Now there are different types of ISAs, of course. There's stocks and shares ISAs, cash ISAs, innovative finance ISAs, which invest in peer-to-peer lenders and are particularly high risk and not really suitable for most people, and of course junior ISAs. But we're going to be talking about stocks and shares ISAs. Now the tax benefits of a stocks and shares ISA are that when you pay money in, the pot of money becomes tax-free. So the growth within there, any income and growth, is tax-free. If you take money out of it in the future when you need it, then you don't pay tax on that money. This differs to a pension. With a pension, you get a tax relief on the way in on any contribution. So when you put money in, if you're a basic rate taxpayer, you basically get a 20% tax relief. So it pushes your money up. So if you put £80 into a pension, it will be topped up to £100. So you get that boost on the way in. It boosts your pot. Everything within that pot grows free of income tax and capital gains tax. But when you take money out of the other end, then you do pay tax on some of that. So 25% of that pot will be tax free, but the rest of it, you are liable for income tax when you start to take that money in retirement. So if you are thinking which would you want to use, then it will come down to probably why you're trying to invest. Now, if you're planning to invest in the short to medium term, then a stocks and shares ISA is more than likely going to be the best option for you. But if you're saving for retirement, then pensions still are probably the best way to do so. Now for each of these, there is a limit to how much you can pay into them in a given tax year. For stocks and shares ISA, it's £20,000. And for a pension, the maximum you can pay in is £40,000. But in fact, it's capped at your earnings. So if your earnings are less than that, then you can't put in more than what you actually earn. And if you don't earn anything, you can in fact put a gross contribution in of $3,600 a year. One of the other differences, of course, is the way they're treated when it comes to inheritance. With a pension, if you die before 75, your pension can be passed on free of inheritance tax. If you die after 75, then the money can be passed on, but it will be liable to income tax at the person, whoever is inheriting it, their marginal rate. With a stocks and shares ISA, then this can be passed on, but it is liable to inheritance tax potentially. But your ISA allowance can be inherited by your spouse, for example, so it can remain having that tax-free wrapper around it. If you want more information on that, then you can search the Money to the Masses website. One of the other key differences is flexibility. With a stocks and shares ISA, you can take your money out whenever you want to. With a pension, you can't access the money until you're age 55, which is why it's only suitable if you're planning for retirement. Now, when choosing between the two, an ISA or a pension, then you've got to think about the taxation, the flexibility, what your goals are, particularly if you're saving for or investing for potentially buying a house. Then you can think about lifetime ISAs, and we've done a whole video on those which you should go and look at. Also, don't forget, if you are employed, then your employer is, by law, they have to auto-enroll you into a pension scheme. Yes, you can opt out, but I would suggest that you don't, because they will also pay into these schemes. So it's like free money that can go towards your retirement. So it's something else to bear in mind. So if you are going to invest, then it's likely to be a stocks and shares ISA is going to be something you might want to consider, assuming you're happy with investment risk. Or if you're saving for retirement, then consider a pension. Now that is it for this week on Millennial Money. Obviously you can follow us as usual on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, Money to the Masses, with the number 2 is the handle. And don't forget to join our Facebook group. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.